VGC is coming back to Toronto in 2023 this October, and I did what any non-VGC player would do and go straight to the Cybertron VGC YouTube channel and find the best team I can find to win and learn this tier with. I picked this team that has Zapdos, Heatran, Urshifu, Fluttermane, some of the big common threats that you see in VGC in the current Regulation D metagame, and while we will be going to Regulation E for the tournament, this is the perfect type of team to finally learn this metagame and see if I can't have a great performance at that event. So I've done a little bit of pre-work, and I've gotten myself to Great Belt tier. I don't exactly know how the ranking system works in VGC, but let's get started. I've used this team for about 40 games on Showdown or so, including the 11 I've played on here. It's about 50 games so far with this team, so I've learned a little bit about the tier at least. I'm still trying to internalize a lot of the common Pokemon that you see, a lot of the common random strategies, common switch-ins, etc. Still trying to get my bearings with this tier. So far though, I've been really enjoying this format more so than I did in the past. I've had some difficulties getting into VGC previously. The last time I really played or tried to was in Gen 6 XY. The Mega Kangaskhan format, if people remember, was not the best, we'll say. There's some problems with that format, and I think they're called the online challenges or global challenges, whatever they're called, and I think I had an above a 500 record, which is good enough. And we find our first opponent here today against Ferdy. That is a peculiar name. Okay, so this is a Trick Room team, is my understanding of how this strategy works, or about what these Pokemon do. So one of the things we have to note is the Indeedee, I think is what it's called, can set up Trick Room and sets up Psychic Terrain, so we can't fake out. But we can, maybe double target that. The Armarouge and Indeedee is a common potential lead together. They could lead Torkoal, Armarouge, and then set up a, a Trick Room in the sun. So I think I'm going to lead Landorus, because Landorus leads off well against basically everything here. And I can lead something like the Heatran. Heatran puts good pressure on the Armarouge as well. And then in the back, it's really hard to see Urshifu doing a lot here with the Indeedee and Torkoal, so I definitely want Fluttermane, I think, and I'm going to put Zapdos as well in the back. So we'll see how this plays out. Alright, it looks like the Annihilape and Indeedee are out first. I don't necessarily love my lead. The Intimidate here is pretty nice. I think that thing can technically have Defiant, but I don't think that's obviously going to proc here. The question is how do I want to approach this turn? I don't think this thing, this Annihilape gets like a follow me type of move, and I think I just want to almost double target the slots here. If I look in the back, I do have the Fluttermane, which should be able to do enough damage to the Annihilape here to really put a lot of pressure on it. And if they do elect to go for the close combat on the Heatran slot, I would honestly be very surprised, and I probably clicked that a little bit too early. But I think realistic, doing as much damage to the Indeedee and preventing Trick Room from coming up allows me to take advantage of my Fluttermane against this type of team. Like, it'll be really, really difficult for my opponent to get some headway if I double target here. Final Gambit, oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, I guess that is unfortunate. I lose my Landorus here. And I don't get to put any damage on that Indeedee. Well, I do get the Heat Wave off, but I'm not going to be able to do the U-turn into Heat Wave. And they just click Dazzling Gleam here. Okay, so they don't even set up Trick Room. Losing Landorus kind of sucks. And I mean, that's just going to get all the way healed off, so I'm really good. I'm pretty content with that. So I guess the question here is Armarouge. I mean, I just bring out Fluttermane. I think Fluttermane, goes pretty effectively against most of the Pokemon my opponent wants to bring out. The Armarouge is what is elected to come out here. So I think, how do I want to approach this? I think I want to lock myself, as I am choice specs, into Shadow Ball probably. I don't think I want to Terrastallize. I think I just want to attack this. And I can flash, I can Heat Wave again. Heat Wave obviously is not really doing much of anything. I kind of just don't care about the Indeedee at this point. I think I'm just going to double target this Armarouge, because this Armarouge is probably the most problematic Pokemon long term, and that Wide Guard is going to be really, really good for me, as I've single targeted both of these this Pokemon, and I've single targeted it again, and it's actually going to pick up the knockout, which is really crucial there, as I'm going to be able to at least get some damage on this Indeedee now. So I'm in a really good spot. My opponent, really not much my opponent can do, I don't think, at this point. They set up the Trick Room, not as like a last-ditch effort, but they're only going to have 2 Pokemon here left, and I do have Zapdos in the back, so it's going to be really difficult for my opponent to make headway in this matchup. I can see something like Sneasler coming out here. Yeah, Sneasler is going to be a problem, though, in this case, because I do have to now play around this. That Psychic Seed is pretty good. So what do we want? What do I want to do here? This is actually a really interesting spot because I'm pretty far ahead. My goal is just not to lose. I expect the Sneasler to kind of outspeed me. I think I kind of want to attack. Oh wait, hold on. This has no effect on that. That's really normal. I think I want to just attack that. Then and I think I'm just going to protect the Heat Train here. Actually, I kind of expect the Dire Claw actually to come out here, which is kind of annoying. Let's see what my opponent decides to Terastallize the Sneasler. Probably into Poison. No, that's into Fighting, I think. I think that's Fighting. It shows how little experience I have in this meta. I don't know what type that is. Let's see. I'm expecting maybe a Terra Blaster Close Combat. Follow Me is actually kind of annoying here. Because of the fact that I am Shadow Balling, so then Indeedee is unfortunately going to not be affected. Okay, they're just going to elect a Rock Slide. Rock Slide is actually kind of annoying here in this spot. I think a little. Oh, it's Rock type, yeah. No, not Fighting type, obviously. So I can Shadow Ball again and force the Rock Slide. Yeah, I think if I Shadow Ball, it forces the Follow Me onto the slot, so I can just go for the Heat Wave. Yeah, they're going to just select the Follow Me again. That's perfect. I am going to be at least able to get off a hit here. So the Heat Wave does get to go first. Can I get a burn here? I do get a burn. Nice. That is clutch in this spot. Burning the Sneasler, and I think at this point there's really not much my opponent can do to get themselves out of this one. The Shadow Ball is going to actually go off first because of the Trick Room. Interesting how the Sneasler is sped on this team. It's not really able to actually take advantage of Trick Room, which, is difficult for a Sneasler, of course, against, Heat Train and Flutter Mane. But, it is possible to get undersped, and maybe that's something a consideration this team should have. But had a really good first few turns and definitely converted that at the end. So we'll take a nice win here against this Trick Room Armarouge team. And yeah, they're just going to forfeit. Nice. Alright, next team here. Interesting team. How does my opponent want to lead in this spot? I'm expecting... My team isn't Amoonguss weak necessarily, but it is a Pokemon that can be problematic. And I'm expecting there's the potential here for an Amoonguss Palafin lead to Rage Powder and get the Palafin off. You could lead... I kind of want to lead with the Landorus and the Heatran. And the reason I want to do that is it leads really well against the Amoonguss and leads really well against the Flutter Mane, Arcanine, even the Tinglu. I think these two lead very well against the majority of what my opponent's trying to do. Next, I think what I want to lead with is, because of the Palafin, I kind of want to have access to the Zapdos. And then I think I want the Urshifu here. I think we'll leave Flutter Mane and Rillaboom behind. I think not bringing Flutter Mane could be a risk here, especially into the Tinglu. That's something that might have been a consideration. But Tinglu matches a little bit poorly into a lot of my team. So I'm not necessarily super concerned about that. It looks like the Wo-Chen and the Palafin, so I'm pretty expecting the Palafin here to switch out. I think that would be fairly obvious, and I think I'm just going to double target here. I'm going to double target this Wo-Chen here, just get a quick U-turn off on it, and then just throw Heat Wave. I don't really want to Terastallize here. I think this is Rock Grass, right? Oh, it's Dark Grass. Okay, yeah. Either way, this is, I think, a pretty safe turn, and yeah, I think we expected the Palafin to get swapped out here. Let's see, the Tinglu actually does come, interestingly enough. Maybe regretting a little bit the not bringing the, what is it called, not bringing the Flutter Mane in this spot, especially with Wo-Chen. I feel like this team is a little bit weak. It's actually going to be Ghost. Interesting. So that's something we'll have to consider here on the switch in. Yeah, I'm kind of regretting not having Flutter Mane at this point. But this is going to be a defensive Terra, preventing the Heat Wave from really doing a lot of damage. I do want to bring in a Pokemon here to threaten that Tinglu, and I think it's got to be the Urshifu. Urshifu, obviously, this Tinglu is going to be very, very bulky. But if I can especially get a burn off on any of these Pokemon, I'm going to be very, very happy. And the Leech Seed comes out. Okay. So I think I do actually want to... swap this Pokemon out and go into my... I really want to get burns off on these. Man, if I had Fluttermane, this game would be so much easier. Which is why I'm kind of surprised we're in a spot like this, because Lando U-turn into Fluttermane would have been so free against this team. I think I'm just going to bring back Landorus in, just to buy a turn off of the Leech Seed. And I think I'm just going to Terra Grass on my Heatran and throw a Heat Wave off. I really want to try to fish some burns here, and I'm expecting some sort of, maybe a Stomping Tantrum or maybe a ground attack to target the Heatran. And if I can get another Intimidate off here, it's going to be really, really difficult for either of these Pokemon to really pick up any sort of damage. And I can just start, attacking the Tinglu down with the combination of these Heat Waves and U-turns. As this Terra Grass is going to give me an amazing defensive typing for this specific situation, especially if that Wo-Chen wants to Leech Seed here. And it looks like we're going to pick up a miss. The Wo-Chen is going to miss, but I do really would prefer to pick up the burn and the damage on the Tinglu, and they're going to Pollen Puff. A little bit unfortunate here, so it looks like I'm probably going to want... Uh-oh. Okay, well, I'm not about that. Does this thing have, like... Yeah, it's a Tablet of Ruins, which I guess it doesn't necessarily... Okay, I guess the question is on how do I approach this now? The Wo-Chen is kind of presenting itself as a massive threat in this spot, or the Tinglu. I kind of just want to U-turn and Heat Wave again. Just maximize as much damage as possible. I think that if I get the burn here, this Urshifu is going to be very, very useful. And I'm just going to go back into Zapdos, I think, here. Because Zapdos can kind of wall out this specific set of turns, I think, especially with the Hurricane. Can I get a burn? Wow, no burns, and I do get Leech Seeded here. Okay. Bro, there's actually no way. Oh my god, I hate this game. I'm kind of reminded quickly of why I don't want to play VGC. This is so dumb. Man, if I fly all the way to Toronto and then someone pulls this up against me, I'm gonna be heated. Like, this is ridiculous. I get that, like, it's whatever. Alright, I think at this point I just have to bring in Urshifu and attack. Like, there's not really much I can do besides that. Especially with just the Surging Strikes. I'm just going to go right back into Landorus here. Keep it simple. Don't let Leech Seed damage pick up. And let's just kill Tinglu. Let's just get this thing off my screen. Oh my god. That's actually so dumb that he hits that. Unless, like, Pollen Puff somehow makes it 100% accuracy. I don't think that's a thing, though. I don't know. Maybe I'm trolling. But I guess that's VGC for you. I don't know what I expected to happen in this spot. And maybe Close Combat was a kill. Come on, give me 4 hits. Of course I get 3 hits here. Alright, it's going to Leech Seed this. I actually am going to be able to pick up this Tinglu here, though. He's going to Ruination my Urshifu. So I do actually get to bring the Urshifu back in. So I'm going to U-turn on the Tinglu, and I'm going to Surging Strikes. This thing has pretty low... Does this thing have good defense? It has decent defense, but I might as well just attack it. I don't know, I'm kind of in a pretty bad spot here because of that fissure. It was actually really, really annoying. Ooh, this U-turn actually is going to be really, really nice because I'm going to get some decent damage off and get my Zapdos in, which is going to be able to pressure that Palafin slot. Really, really don't like that I have Urshifu, that Urshifu got Leech Seeded there. Would have been nice. It all comes down to that fissure turn, really, that makes this difficult. And yeah, that's not going to do really enough damage to really justify this turn, but we'll see how it goes. 3 hits is not bad. And it's just going to Leech Seed onto my Zapdos. And it's going to get a lot of health back here. Well, I think my only play is to Thunderbolt this slot and to go back. I think I kind of have to just pray on the fact that they'll stay in with Palafin. I don't really have much of another option, I think, at this point. I'm in a pretty much a losing spot here. And I'm kind of reliant on a little bit of hacks and a little bit of, mistakes on my opponent's side going my way. So we'll see if they like to keep this Palafin in. They do like to keep it in. And they're gonna lose their Palafin here, actually, as a result of this, because of the Raikou. I mean, the Thunderbolt was gonna kill it anyway. But they are gonna lose this, so that is potentially good for me. I think this Wo-Chien is still gonna probably kick up the kill on the Zapdos, in the next turn cycle. So I am still pretty much in an unwinnable spot, but getting kind of close to it. Yeah, I'm gonna live. I kind of figured that was gonna happen. So let's see what my opponent brings in. This thing's still at full HP, which is ridiculous. Oh, they have Flutter Mane. Well, I don't think I can beat that. I kind of have to hope for Rock Slide pair here. Is that gonna be speed? Alright, that's speed. I think I've seen enough. I've seen enough. The Fissure, the Flutter Mane speed, yeah, let's move on. We've seen enough out of this game. Let's get out of here. On to the next one. Alright, let's try to have a better battle this time. That was interesting, to say the least. Oh my god, I'm so frustrated about that. Okay, let's see. Heatran leads actually pretty well against a lot of these Pokemon. I kind of want to lead Heatran. It doesn't lead great against the bundle, but I can always protect against the bundle. What do I want to lead with next? I kind of like Flutter Mane, actually. Flutter Mane does really good against the Grimmsnarl. Against the Iron Hands, actually doesn't lead that well against a lot, to be honest. I could lead Zapdos. Zapdos leads pretty well against a lot of things here. I could also lead... Yeah, I kind of want to lead Zapdos Heatran. Flutter Mane in the back is decent, but I kind of want to have Urshifu. And then I think Landorus is actually maybe my best option. This is potentially a little bit weak to Terra Bundle, but I think this team is a little bit weak in general to Iron Bundle, honestly. Maybe that's just my own personal... that's my quick thought bias. Maybe there are a lot better ways to play around Terra Bundle. And I'm not necessarily sure if Iron Bundle, especially in Terraform, is something that's necessarily common in VGC. So we'll try to learn and figure that out. Okay, this is actually ended up being a really good lead for me, in that I can really... What I can do here is just Terrastalize the Heatran to protect it against this Iron Hands. Just throw up a Heat Wave and then Hurricane the Iron Hands. I'm expecting probably... So my expectation is Light Screen here, but my hope in double targeting the Iron Hands and putting pressure is, one, I pick up a burn. That would be the main thing. And we are going to Terrastalize first, which means probably, unless they Terrastalize the Iron Hands, it's going to be the only Terra on this turn. And they're going to fake out the Zapdos. So it's actually really good, because that's going to pick up some extra Rocky Helmet damage there. And I still get my Heat Wave off. Come on, give me a burn. Wow, no Iron Hand burn. It's just going to Wild Charge this Zapdos slot. That is interesting. That's really good. I picked up some good Rocky Helmet damage on this turn. I kind of think I actually want to roost here with Zapdos. The Heat Wave is pretty free still here. There's not really anything that punishes me. And if I roost, I can roost off all this damage here and really put myself back in the driver's seat. Obviously, I expect the Light Screen here. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But nothing my opponent can do really is going to put a lot of pressure on my team, especially with this roost. I could see something maybe an Ice Punch come out from that Iron Hands, try to take advantage of this. I do hit the Heat Wave, and wow, a crit on the Grimmsnarl, breaking through that Light Screen, prevents maybe a Reflect or something extra like that coming up, and he is going to Heavy Slam Heatran. That did 3 damage. Not something I am overly concerned with. The after leftovers, it's 11 damage. Yeah, okay. Sure, nice try, Iron Hands. You really put in your best effort there. Ooh, Garganacl, interesting. Garganacl's a little bit tough in this spot. I can I can Flash Cannon. If I look at my team, I kind of just want to go into Landorus, put an Intimidate out there, and Flash Cannon that slot. The reason to do that is I expect something like Assault Cure, or maybe Rock Slide would actually be pretty good here. But if I get an Intimidate off here, I don't think Ice Punch is realistic. coming from my opponent on this turn into that Zapdos slot. And I do get a nice bit of flash cannon damage. Obviously the light screen's up, but it is going to take over half. And that Drain Punch is going to go into Heatran. A little bit of health, but once again, this Iron Hand is actually pretty bulky, so it's not in theory going to gain a lot. And you can see there, not a lot of damage to be gained. And that Salt Cure is going to go onto the Landorus. So at this point, I can kind of, I mean, I'm really in the driver's seat here. There's not really much my opponent can necessarily do about what I have going on. I have to take some Salt Cure damage here, of course. I kind of expect this to be potentially Assault Vest on the, what is it called? I'm kind of really accepting a Protect here to the Garganacl, to be honest. So I'm just going to Earth Power and then U-turn on the Iron Hands. I don't think that, wow, I kind of would have thought a Protect would make sense in that spot. And that is a crit, so I'm probably not going to be able to pick up the kill here. But I can bring Zapdos back in. Rock Slide actually might be possible out of the Garganacl, but I'm just going to go into Zapdos here. I don't see any reason not to go into that. They might Salt Cure the Heatran as well, obviously a possibility, but double targeting that Iron Hand slot, not going to get the knockout. And that Drain Punch, oh, we are probably going to get the knockout. We're going to put it in definite range of, and even pretty much anything now on my team with that Rocky Helmet damage. And yeah, the Salt Cure out onto the Heatran here, doing a little bit of damage, but thankfully for the Grass type, that's going to make it a lot less relevant the rest of this game. And now I can even Thunderbolt the, just Thunderbolt the Iron Hands because of the HP it's at. I almost even would like, I think at this point Flash Cannon is going to kill the Garganacl, so we'll see how much damage that's going to do. Hopefully that picks up the knockout here. So yeah, I think the safest play is just Flash Cannon and then Thunderbolt. That'll pick up 2 of these Pokemon here. And if my opponent elects to switch out, then I think they're kind of in a losing battle already. We still have Landorus and Urshifu in the back to really clean up, even if they have Terra Bundle. Yeah, we're going to get the Iron Hands, and hopefully we get this Garganacl here. That would be huge if we could pick up 2 Pokemon on this turn. Alright, give me that Garganacl. Please knock this thing out. Yes, perfect. And now with 4 Pokemon against 1, I think my opponent is going to be pretty hard-pressed to ever come back in this game. And the last Pokemon here is the Iron Bundle Pokemon. Probably going to Terra here. Oh, it is Terra special attack, so that will be a little bit annoying. And I am just going to, I'm expecting this to be Terra Water, so I'm just going to Earth Power, I guess, is the safest play. And then just go for the Thunderbolt. I'm assuming I'm just going to get Terra Choice Specs. Oh no, it's Booster Energy. I'm assuming I'm just going to get Terra Blasted on the Zapdos slot is probably their best play. And that'll allow me to bring out the Urshifu after and just click a Close Combat. Oh, it's actually Ice. Really? Okay. Well, that's certainly going to blow back my Zapdos. My Zapdos has 0 chance. Oh, Blizzard actually gives him a chance to come back in this game. Okay, Terra Blizzard is threatening, but I think the Urshifu is going to be able to pick up this game still. That is that is actually pretty big for my opponent. Alright, so I still think we're fine. I don't think there's really any risk in this game, but, you know, it's not over until it's over, that's for sure. Alright, let's just click Close Combat, and let's just click Stomping Tantrum in case something goes crazy wrong. I don't think it's going to matter too much. The Urshifu's just going to be able to pick this up. Freeze Dry coming out. Oh, they're going to go on to... Uh-oh. I'm really going to need the Speed Drop, actually. Maybe I should have detected there. Uh-oh. Did I actually lose this game? Oh my god, I actually lost this game. Oh my god, that's actually crazy. I knew Terra Bundle was strong into this team. I should have detected. I think that was kind of an obvious misplay there. Wow. What a way to end this video. Oh my god. You can tell I'm learning VGC because I have literally no idea what any of the Pokemon I'm coming up against do. I got fissured. I played against a Mono Ice Iron Bundle. What is this? What is this format? Oh my goodness. Well, that is my first foray really into competitive VGC in God knows how many years. As I said, I'll be playing in the Toronto Regional, so if you see me there, make sure to say hello. I will, meet anybody who watches these videos and comes to say hello. I'm really excited for it, even though I don't think I'm going to do particularly well, given how I've been playing in these last few VGC ladder games that I play. Let's see where I'm at. Do you D-rank for that? No, you don't D-rank. Okay, perfect. I'm still in Great Ball. Maybe I can get to Master Ball or whatever it's called before the tournament, but given how I've been playing recently, I highly doubt that. I'll see you guys next time, though. There is a draft league coming up very, very soon, the next couple of weeks, so make sure you are subscribed for that. That's going to be very, very huge. Super excited for that draft league coming up. A lot of new DLC Pokemon, including Fable. Let's see if I can get that one drafted. But that's all for today. See you guys then, and as always, have a wonderful day.